Hi, everyone. My name's Jade. And today I'm going to be talking about how I used purely with my intuition, inner knowing, following my compass, being deeply present and aware, and listening to the signs to move me, my two children, my partner to Bali and be birthing my third baby in just 8 weeks in the jungle in Ubud. It's a really interesting one, and it's something that I encourage everyone to do. Being deeply present and aware and listening to your inner compass is really the forefront of life. It's following your gut. It's your body, your magnetism, your energy, your soul, the universe guiding you as to what you should really be doing. And it's something that you have to put into practice, and you have to quieten the noise. And specifically in Western culture, specifically being a business owner, there is a whole lot of noise around you all the time, right? So it's not about removing yourself from the noise. In my case, I had to, and I'll get into the story in a second, but it's about finding time to quieten the noise so you can consistently tune in and stay connected, because it's very easy to get disconnected in our busy lives. And so I was very shocked to find out I was pregnant again. It wasn't planned. We have two beautiful children. We have our hair salon in Melbourne, Privé Hair Organics, our nationwide mobile hair and makeup business with over 100 staff and 7 back-end staff, Privé Hair and Makeup in 6 cities. We have Privé Education, which is hosted in 3 different cities, which we have put on pause because I'm pregnant. We have the studio, Privé Studio, and I am, of course, a holistic mindset, meditation, new business, life coach. So there was a lot going on, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the idea of having a third child. And I am someone that's very positive, very upbeat. Nothing really phases me. I always manage naturally to see the positive in things. It's one of my superpowers. However, I was not okay. Quite simply, every day Henry would come home and I'd be almost in tears. Things were feeling triggering. My nervous system was just completely shot. I couldn't recalibrate. I didn't feel like meditating. Like, I was very much my own worst enemy. I was in a very bad place. And it was just the capacity. I was thinking, I can't take away from what my children need from me currently, because they're my main priority. Everything I do is for them. I'm also not in a position to stop work or, completely cut out elements that are required of me. The salon still needs a huge amount from me. There's people that look to me for leadership, that rely on me. So how am I going to have a baby? How am I going to have another baby? And, me and Henry being very solid together, having the family, it also wasn't an option to terminate for me. I'm not against it, but I do personally believe that the child chooses you, that the soul chooses you as their parents. And so I was stuck between a hard place and a rock. And so with this, Henry said to me, Jade, go to Bali. So just go to Bali, go and recalibrate, fix up wherever you're at. And I was like, okay, I can't go to Bali. I was like, it's November. I was so busy in the salon. Everything's happening. And he was like, Jade, just go. So anyway, booked for 5 days. Didn't know what to expect, left everything behind, but I needed this time. I actually had to forcefully put things on pause. It was peak time for the business, and there was no way that I was going to be able to really quieten and tune in. And so when I got here, I started straight away. I knew all the things that I had to do, aka meditation, journaling, quiet time, gratitude, reread The Power of Now. I booked massages. I booked a mindset masterclass workshop at the beautiful Udara. I booked what else did I book? I booked another one, hypnosis therapy. I really got on top of self-care, me time, downtime, and it was just amazing. It was amazing. Now, the first thing that happened was the flights were $666, which numbers, if anyone's into numerology, is quite significant when you see aligned numbers. It means that you're following the right path, that the spirits are talking to you through the numbers. My flight was at 5:55 p.m., which is another synchronization. I then reached out to a friend who actually used to be my business coach. She's now a very good friend of ours. And she said to me, oh, Jade, explained to her, I was like, look, I've just found out I'm pregnant. I'm really struggling. She was like, my villa's free. She was living in Bali at the time. She said, I'm going to be in Australia. Stay at my villa for free. I've got the place. It'll be empty, ready for you. So all these things, this is alignment, right? So as soon as you start listening and following your intuition, I could have resisted what Henry said, which was my first default, to be honest. I was like, I can't go. I can't just go. And he was like, you need to go. So when opportunities are presented to us and when things occur, don't always reject them. Lean into how they feel. Question why this has been presented to you, and then go with your gut. And that's what I did. And then everything starts aligning. So I arrive in Bali and I go to the gym, F45 specifically in Canggu. And there is a leaflet there for Bumi Sehat, which is the beautiful birthing center I'm going to be going to have my baby. So Bumi Sehat's there. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I'm looking at it. And for those of you that don't know, I'm happy to share, but I actually had to have 2 cesarean sections prior. One was through force, one was through more fear. They were like, you've got a big baby, you might have to have a Caesar anyway. And I was like, oh, I just need a non-traumatic birth for my second baby. So 2 of those. And this time I really wanted to channel this baby to bring them into the world through choice, through empowerment. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, it all came to me literally as I was in Bali. So I've got this birthing center. I messaged my driver. Birthing center's in Uber and I'm in Canggu. It's a couple of hours. Like, it can be worse in traffic. And I said to the driver, are you free? And the driver's like, oh, sorry, I'm not available to take you tomorrow. I was like, okay, that's fine. So obviously, maybe it's just not meant to be. And then he messaged back an hour later and said, I'm actually available. I can pick you up 6 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be there for this time because it's nice and early. I was like, okay, let's go with it. Messaged the birthing center. They messaged back straight away, said, come for 11. And so I then had a look online. There's a beautiful place called Yoga Barn. And Yoga Barn was available to do a beautiful morning meditation class and then a vinyasa flow back to back just before Bumi Sehat. So it meant that I had time to eat some breakfast between after the classes, go to 2 amazing classes and come back. Everything's aligned. And so then, I came. The meditation class was unbelievable. I just felt so grounded and centered. I just felt like me again. It was like awakening. And then I went to the birthing center. The founder happened to be there. Her name's Robin Lim. And she was just beautiful, reassuring, gave me a hug, very personable. I can't explain the energy. And I just was like, I think this is where I need to have this baby. But it wasn't like an idea. It was like a knowing. It was like a realization almost. And so I had this idea in my head and, obviously I couldn't just put it into action. I have a huge amount of responsibilities and, the thought of having to move my entire family from Australia to Bali definitely wasn't the easy thing to do. But it came to me and I was like, wow, maybe this is what I need to do. But let's see. And then things just kept happening. Yeah, while I was here, I would drive past signs and I would ask the universe, give me a sign if this is what I'm supposed to do. And then literally I'm on the back of a scooter and I drive past and a sign that says yes. I was like, fuck. Is that actually a sign or is that not a sign? And it's so funny because sometimes we do question this, but if you ask for something, ask and you will receive, right? You can't then question it nonstop. And then I'd be like, okay. So if I would ask stupid questions, I'd be sat on my friend's balcony. If I see 2 white birds fly over in the next 5 minutes, it means yes. And then they fucking would. And I was like, oh God, maybe this is it. Anyway, so I came back from Bali and I was feeling so aligned, so refreshed, so much better. And I said to Henry, I said, look, there's something I want to talk to you about. It's not a must, it's not a guarantee, but it's something that I feel like might be a thing. And, this was, I actually forgot to mention, there was also, I drove past a school, which I just thought, like, it was a Montessori school in Canggu, funny enough, which isn't actually where they're going. But it was like pouring with rain. I stopped on the scooter and it was finished the end of school time at 2:30. And I said, "Hey, I just saw that you're a Montessori school. My children go to Steiner, Australia." They said, "We've actually got an open evening this evening. You're more than welcome if you can wait 15 minutes to come in." And so another alignment, like a strange occurrence, it just was perfect timing. So I said to Henry, there's a lot to consider, but this has happened. This is my experience in Bali. And Henry's like, "Fucking hell, Jade, you don't half you don't half put things out there." He was like, "We've literally got our whole life of business here. We can't go." And then my reaction was actually really interesting. And look, at this point, we still had to work things out. There is following your intuition, but you have to have the left brain as well. You have to have some logistics and a plan. And I do understand that. I had to learn the hard way. But you can't just, be like, "Yeah, fuck it, just going to pack up and leave." You have to put things in place. And so the idea was there, but we still did need to really, work out a budget, a reality check, children's school. There were so many things that we had to consider before we actually finalized that decision. But when he said no, my natural reaction was to be really upset, even though I wasn't sold on the idea completely myself. And I think that's what sold it on me even more. My reaction was just like mortified. I cried. I was like, "I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I just know this is what I need to do. And I know it's what I need for my birth. And I know it's what we need for support, because here we can access a nanny, a cleaner, a cook. There's no washing." Like, for me to uphold everything that I want and need to uphold as a leader, as an entrepreneur, and as a mother, I need to be in Bali to get the support, because the sacrifices that will be made are basically just for work. They're not for where they can't be the children and they can't be work. And in Australia, I'm going to be overwhelmed and suffer. And so, yeah, it was weird. That was the confirmation for me. So then Henry, being Henry, he is the strategic budgeting chief financial officer. He basically was a bit harsh and was like, "Look, sorry, you just come back from Bali. You can't just come back and be like, 'Yeah, I'm thinking that this is what we should do,' and expect it to happen." I was like, "I'm not expecting it to happen. You just need to listen to me. I need to talk to you about this. Like, there's so much to consider." There was just a lot of emotions and things. Anyway, I got really upset and I was crying a lot. And we went to bed. Hate going to bed in a bad place either. It's not something that we do often, but it happened, unfortunately. And then the next morning, I think he wakes up around 4 a.m. He'd really considered what I'd said and how it had happened. And he said, came upstairs with a coffee next to bed, and he gave me a hug and he said, "I just wanted to let you know that I really understand, and I agree, and I'm here to support you, and let's work out a plan. I will book the flights." And I was like, "Thank you for hearing me." Um, but yeah, that's literally how it happened. And we did have to make some decisions and we did have to plan. Like, it wasn't an off the cuff thing. But now we are here. We literally did it. And there are some challenges and we are adjusting as a family, but my soul is at peace, and everyone understood and continues to understand. It's it is so profound, the benefits and impact, positive impact you can have on your life when you are not bound by the constricts of your mind and bound by the societal expectations or thoughts. I mean, anyone that knows me really well is like, "Oh, Jade, she's really headstrong. This is just Jade. She's got to do what she's got to do." And anyone that's kind of on the outside of the inner circle is like, "You're going to Bali to have a baby. What is there, like, hospitals?" Like, and, that's another story for another time. And when I have given birth, I'm going to share all. But yeah, you have to follow your intuition. You have to do what your soul asks you to do. and you are going to be presented with the signs all the time, that all the answers that you need are there, all the clarity, confirmation. It is literally at your fingertips, but we're just not listening half the time. So do what you need to do to tune in, whether this is meditation, whether this is, if you're blessed enough, take some time out for yourself, take a day off, go to the beach, get a babysitter if you have children. If you don't have kids, fucking go, you can do whatever you like. Like, take that time for you to think about who you are, what you want, what do you need, and then listen to the answers intently, don't question, and then put things in place to make sure that it happens. Because no one is going to save you in this life. It's yours for the taking. It is your life for the taking, but you can be the savior of your story. And I am living testament in every single way, shape, or form that you can do anything you desire at any given time. That was my little story about following my intuition and how I ended up here. And I am going to be sharing more updates on my whole journey, but I'm sending everyone so much love and strength. And if you do need support or advice, it would honestly be an honor just to do a 30-minute clarity call with you. I really just want to impact as many lives as I possibly can in any way that I possibly can. Thank you so much. I'm sending you love and light.